You're obviously, you're the poetry hardcore because you're still here. You're a poetry audience, sophisticated poetry audience, so you know, watching X Factor and Britain's Got Talent and the like is probably a bit dichotomous for you, because you know, on the one hand it's evil and lowbrow and perpetuates negative aspirations, exploiting the desperate and mentally ill, and turning pop culture into an insipid quagmire of sterile, repetitive dirge. But on the other hand, that orphan with the stutter and the puppy eyes has such an angelic choir boy voice, and you don't usually like Coldplay, but that ballad in the background seemed to add an emotional depth to his story, and you know you're being manipulated, but you can't argue with the facts, and he was raised by his sister who looks like a cage-fighting stripper, and when they filmed that bit where they go home, there was special brew cans on the Argos sideboard, and it was his nan's dying wish to see him sing on the telly, and his budgie's got the clap, and his foot's made of bacon, and he's just trying to make a better life for himself, and sod off, Cowell. We know what you're up to with your bad juju, trying to manipulate us to line your pockets, which are extra deep because of that weird high-waisted trouser thing. Fortunately, reality television's on its way out. It's being eaten by its own ridiculousness. But just because something looks like it's dying doesn't mean we shouldn't kick it to make sure. I'm choosing to kick it through the medium of poetry, which is the most ineffectual and self-indulgent way to kick something, but you know, as we're all locked in this tent. A stain of smug judges, a slavering flock, slack-jawed kin people, a tangible low. This isn't rock bottom, keep shoveling muck, send in the clowns and on with the show. Interchangeable Geordies, interchangeable Geordies, interchangeable Geordies. ITV, somebody kill me, interchangeable Geordies. Premium phone lines, square-eyed glee. All that we wanted was money for nothing. All that we wanted were chicks for free. But rainbows are grander than ashen brain mortals. Swallow the dream and retch the debris. A desperate audition, assume the position. A doodle sack wizard, ooh, a man in 3 coats. A plumber who KO'd a pug with his man parts. A girl who carved psalms in the bald flesh of goats. A pink face, a lump fist, a pig whisperer. A barmaid who sang in the key of fresh grief. A boy with a birthmark, shaped like a birthmark. An atheist preacher that buggered belief. Each had a whale tail of ballad-backed sad face. Each more chasing cars than the last. Oh, I'm Trish, I'm a beast, I live in a turnip. I've gout in my moustache and lumps in my gas. My bra's made of noodles. I married an hobnob. My 26 kids were eaten by ghosts. The silt of a writhing hydra of egos stirred binary oats from the vacuum-eyed host. Interchangeable Geordies, interchangeable Geordies, interchangeable Geordies. ITV, somebody kill me, interchangeable Geordies. Premium phone line, square-eyed glee. Or you, licking the sweat off the big cheese. To be a cheap idol for the blank master prize is a fleck off a speck off a gut full of feeling. Don't empty your guts through the stars in your eyes. Cheers. How am I doing for time? Right, okay. A quick one. Do you want one about the internet, or do you want a sort of state of the nation piece? Everybody who says internet, everybody who wants internet, say internet. Nobody! Nobody cares, do they? Anybody who wants state of the nation, say state of the nation. Alright, okay. I'm not one of those people who thinks the world's social problems can be cured through the medium of, you know, like interpretive dance or a poignant haiku. You know what I mean? Like, starving child of war-torn country, I have a gift for you. Really? Is it food or medicine? Better than that, it's this anthology of concrete poetry. Fill your boots. Not really the best way to be proactive, in my opinion. There are better ways to spend your time in times of crisis. And maybe you can help me out with this. Do I look a bit German? Do I look a bit like Teutonic, a bit Aryan? I think I must do, because like every time I get into a taxi, the minicab driver always mistakes me for the last surviving member of the Hitler Youth. He always starts spewing this racist vitriol at me, like that's the kind of thing I might like to have a lovely little conversation about. It isn't. And the last time it happened, this gout-ridden bigot was banging on about how Britain's indigenous culture was being immutably eroded under a liberal tsunami of extirpative ethnic inclusiveness. He phrased it differently, obviously, but I challenged him on it this one time. It's the first time I've ever done it, and I was like, look mate, what do you think is being lost? What is this, what are these elements of culture that you think are being lost? And he thought about it for about a minute, and he fixed me in his gaze in the rear view mirror, and he said, they've started putting curry in baked beans now. Well, if that's not a great foundation to build a mountain of hate, then I don't know what is. Run for the hills, little England, here comes the burden of choice in your breakfast sides. And anyway, it got me thinking about when people like that are defending British culture, what are they actually defending? And I wrote a little poem about it. It's called If Life Gives Us Lemons, We Curd 'em. Blue rinse sticklers, church fate picklers, slating settlers to our shores. Little England wins the battle, little Hitler wins the war. Happy slapping capper slappers, dress the kids in pasty wrappers. Boo girl chatter, ghetto patter, picked up from some pasty rapper. Church of England double deckers, bussing bingo wings to Mecca. Al Medina, Bogner's better, writes a strongly worded letter. We love our plucky underdogs, but neuter them if they should bark. Dog muck, dogging, doggerel, the dogma of the village park. Pish and quips and starlet slips, printed on tomorrow's chips. Diet tips from starving lips, tits for the illiterates. Young Miss Bennett's trashed on tenets. Dog did his slap and creosote, bawling beauty on a booty, puking Red Bull down her coat. Mr. Darcy gets all arsey, downs another 7 cans. Kylie clone pout gets him blown out, down by Jason's Donovan. The kids are seen, Vice magazine, oh we're not prats, we're ironic prats. Let's design a tiny mind to keep under our tiny hats. Weekend rasters head to Glasters, welly wobbler shapes a throne. Trust the far eye, snorts E. coli, cut with soggy methadone. Triards and celebutards, P's and Q's and freezing Q's. Slough as a philosophy, breaking up as breaking news. Rolling hills in happy pills, old school time meets zeitgeist pie. Socks and sandals, no, 4 candles. Oh, you gotta laugh. I want to cry. Thanks, that's all from me. Oh, well done. Well, extra brownie points for anybody who's old enough to get the 4 candles reference there. Well done for making it out. You could be at home listening to Gardener's Question Time. Thank you very much for listening. Cheers. Bye.